Okay. Good evening, storytellers. Make it. I'm going to do maybe a different needle threading story. I jotted down a few notes sitting in class for the last few hours. I haven't practiced it, so I'll read. Well, let me tell you, sometimes threading the needle involves a lifetime of impossibly squeezing through spectacularly dumb decisions.
Yeah, that's right.
If you see the tattoo on my right forearm, there are 9 ravens in flight, messengers from the other side, that have shepherded me through the needles of life. Every time I reach out to do something stupid, which happens more often than I like to admit, they remind me to pause and consider. 8 of the ravens represents decisions where I absolutely should have ended up dead. But somehow grace saved me for something later in life, allowing me through an impossible needle. The 9th raven, and that's for an overarching life threat that shadowed me for nearly 30 years. Tonight, I'll share a few of these stories, times I've threaded the needle between life and death, not through skill, but through what only can be described as dumb luck in spite of bad decisions. The parachute incident.
What?
Picture this, it was the 1980s.
Oh.
I'm 800 feet in the air, young, nervous, tired, in a rush. Everything was going great until it wasn't. I weighed in about 115 pounds at the time. I was wearing another 110 pounds worth of gear. I shuffled to the front of a C-130 aircraft, waddling like a pregnant whale. I was overconfident and rushed the door. The wind caught my foot, and before I could be stopped, they wrapped under my helmet. The riser snapped. They wrapped under my helmet, tore it off, and I went out the door, hitting the side of the plane. If the helmet had not been well used, because it was a training helmet, my head would have come off instead of the helmet breaking and cracking. The instructor rushing to me on the drop zone with my helmet in hand was very surprised to find me lying on the ground alive. And then there was the motorcycle accident. Again, young, dumb, playing stupid motorcycle tricks with my friends. I bounced the front wheels, busted my chin. With the front bar, I fell over it, locking the accelerator on. It was a well-balanced bike as well. The bike traveled with me mostly unconscious, through the yard, down a hill, across a road, and into a ditch. My body crushed down on the bike as it bent in half around me. The bike lurched back up on top and dropped on top of me. My parents did find me, confident I was dead, and rushed me to 30 minutes to the hospital. We lived out in a rural area. I had stitches. I changed color due to head-to-toe contusions. An extended hospital stay, in a wheelchair for 3 months from splitting my pelvis up both sides. But I didn't die.
I know that's right.
Have you ever had a 7mm round whiz past your ear? And let me tell you, it focuses the mind wonderfully. I'm not a fan of hunting, but I have mistakenly tried it in the past. I was hunting with a buddy who had, let's say, a creative interpretation of safety. We wore only camouflage, invisible even to each other. We had walked in opposite directions with the plan to come back together at a designated time. And as I crept quietly toward my friend, I spotted him about 50 yards ahead, pausing, raising his weapon, a rifle that would drop a Kodiak bear, pointed directly at me as he fired. He had not noticed me. He had seen the deer that had walked up about 20 yards directly behind me. And as I said, I'm not a fan of hunting, but at least I didn't die. How about a car accident? Perfectly sober, but not paying attention to the road ahead. I was on my phone. Traveling close to 80 miles an hour on I-75 north in the right lane. I missed a vehicle that was pulled over and stopped on the shoulder ahead. I missed it. It started pulling up and moving out into my lane at about 15 miles an hour. It was a really tough collision. That car got thrown far ahead. My car crumpled, jamming the front doors backward and locking them. The air was filled with airbags, smoke, as the vehicle burst into flames. So while the car was burning, I'm trying to get into the back seat, to get my wits about me, to really get my mind back working again, kick the back door open, and eventually get out before it burned down. I learned my lesson. Unfortunately, without death or even injury, I didn't die. So I stand here before you, the owner of 9 ravens, in a lifetime of stories about threading needles I had no business getting anywhere near. If there's a lesson here, it might be that sometimes precision isn't about skill at all. Sometimes it's just dumb luck and stubbornness to keep breathing when the universe suggests otherwise. Thank you.
That's right.